The car underneath this cover kick-started my YouTube career. This is my very own Frankenstein rat rod that pisses off purists, and I love it so much. So guys, I think it's finally time to bring back MASUTANGU. You and me, let's get to work. Over 4 years ago, we drug a forgotten 65 Mustang shell off of a farm and body swapped it onto a 1996 Honda Civic chassis, creating the world's first front-wheel drive turbocharged Honda-powered 65 Mustang. I then converted it into a fastback right before taking it to the drag strip and completely grenading the transmission. But thankfully, I found a transmission on Marketplace, which means we can go fix it. But I'm not looking forward to it because I hate working on this car. Let's go. It's so moldy inside. I'm gonna get tetanus. Look how nasty it is in there. The steering wheel is moldy. The seat is moldy. Everything's moldy. Oh no. I'm never draining that. I'm gonna let that live there forever. Last year when I realized the transmission was bad, I had already pulled the axles out, so this job has already been started by me in advance. This is very loose. It's almost like nothing's holding it together other than the brake rotor. Lower control arm. There it is. Almost fell on the floor. Brakes are out of the way and I should be able to reinstall the CV axles once the transmission's back in it. And I still have to pull the existing transmission out. Can you tell that I don't like working on front-wheel drive cars? Traction bar. There we are. Traction bar out. And goodbye. Now moving to the top. Oh wow. I have let the project car get really nasty. Oh no. I hope there are not mice living anywhere in here. Charge pipe off. Radiator hose. I didn't actually drain any of the coolant out. We'll just let that be. I got that starter tight in there last time. Starter removed and also full of water. Slave cylinder. I can finally start on bell housing bolts. You wanna know the fun part of this? I haven't even bought the transmission yet. I'm just getting ahead of myself and taking this one out. I saw the transmission release from the engine block. That means all I gotta do is unbolt the transmission mounts. This thing's ready to pop out. It's time I can now support the transmission ever so slightly. And I'm gonna remove this mount first, which would have been way easier to do from the top. Let me just get up here and loosen this real quick. Oh wow, that was actually really easy. I'm really high up right now. Should be the last two bolts. I don't like that water's coming out of every single hole in here. Woo! Dude, look at that. About ready to come out and fall on my head. Yeah, I think I should actually unbolt that trans mount all the way. Yo, you remember? I took gymnastics at the age of 7. No, 4. Don't drop, there's washers on it. Lots of washers. Why do you guys look so stressed out right now?
I'm not. I actually wanted to see you fall for me.
Attempt 2! Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. There it is. She's disconnected. Don't get hung up. That's about it. Don't get hung up now. Why do I feel like that wasn't a problem next time? Let me just keep going down and hope that it's fine. The transmission is now out. You may remember probably 2 years ago, I did the exact same swap. I pulled the old trans out and replaced it with this one, which I bought on Marketplace for I think 300 bucks. I was told it was a GSR transmission and it most definitely is not. The synchro's all ground pretty much on the second test drive. And when we went drag racing last year, I obliterated the differential, which is why we're pulling it right now to replace it with something better. Everybody say hello to my new transmission. This is one that I bought with paperwork. It's been fully built and it is an LS transmission, not a GSR, not some random unknown thing off Marketplace. The LS transmissions have longer gear ratios, which is better for boosted cars because you don't have to shift as much, you stay in boost longer. And I have paperwork proving that this is rebuilt by a reputable shop in Florida. It's got carbon fiber synchros, it's got new gears, new shift forks, new LSD. It should all be good, and it's rated for 600 horsepower. I know MASUTANGU does not make near that, and it will be Perfectly fine. Now, before I put this in, let me address all of the comments that are gonna say, Tom, why aren't you all-wheel drive swapping MASUTANGU? You've mentioned it multiple times. The problem with that is I've looked into it, and it's expensive. There are many different options to all-wheel drive swap a Civic platform like this. Some use cheap Honda CR-V parts, and some use more expensive Honda wagon parts. And if I want to handle the power that this engine makes, I need the expensive Honda wagon parts. It would cost upwards of $10,000 for me to do this properly, especially because I'm not a Honda guy. I don't exactly know what I'm looking for, and I just don't want to spend that money on this car. But the other big part of it is MASUTANGU is front wheel drive. That is the whole appeal of the car. It's really funny to see this thing spin the front wheels, and while it would be way faster to be all-wheel drive, it would get rid of all of that comic relief that makes MASUTANGU so funny and so controversial. So for now, I'm sticking with this built LS transmission, and if it hits the bed, maybe we'll all-wheel drive swap it. I'm not putting it out of the picture for sure, but for now, I'm leaving it front wheel drive. Got this input shaft kind of lined up here. Give her some twists. Gotta get it centered up. We're getting closer though. Oh, see that? Everybody see that? Everybody see that? Clonk. That is what I like to see. Got the trans mount tight to the transmission, and hopefully this bolt will just go right in without fighting anything. And it does. Let me tighten that up, because I would love to get this trans mount out of the way. Might as well climb up and put it in. Don't call me weak, okay? I already trained upper body at the gym today. I'm tired, okay? Don't say Tom couldn't even do a muscle up on MASUTANGU. He's so weak. No, I'll have you know I already did a bunch of pull-ups today, okay?
Would it be a muscle up or a masu up?
It would be a masu up. Good thinking, cameraman. I'm giving you a 2-cent raise this hour.
That's a total of 4 cents this hour.
I'm generous. The transmission is now the shiniest part of the car. That's a good thing. At the beginning of the video, I said this was a miserable job and I hated it. I think I forgot how easy it actually was to swap this transmission. That's weird. Look at this. There's no hole for this bell housing bolt right there. Can anybody explain that mystery? That's really weird. You could see where there should be a hole for it. Might toss a C-clamp on there just to be safe. Tranny nice and feeling tight. I just cross-threaded that. Those threads are tight. We're pretty much home free. I hope everyone at home is cringing as much as me. That's tight. You don't have to tell me that was probably one of the worst things I've filmed myself do in a very long time. Wow, yikes, Tom, yikes. Maybe this bell housing bolt will be easier. To try and forget the horrible things that I've just done, I'm going to install the shifter. Perfect. It has neutral. I'm still cringing at how hard those bolts were to install. I'm sorry that I did that. Let's put it down and install everything on the top. Last bell housing bolt is tight. Slave cylinder. I should probably get started on this. The results will be electrifying. Hey, I'm just being positive. I'm turned on. Before I put the intercooler charge pipe on, I'm gonna start the cleaning process. I didn't even think it could get this gross in here. That's not popping off. Now I can install this intermediate axle shaft here. Very, very tight. Another big problem I've always had with MASUTANGU is the stock axles can't handle the horsepower. So these are super strong forged axles. They were like 800 bucks. I actually don't remember where I bought them because I bought them over a year ago, but now I can finally put them in and hope that they fit because I'm not really a Honda guy. Ooh, stop. Man, does this mean that I have to take one more bolt out? Yes! Boom! Damn. Traction bar is on. One axle perfectly installed. And two! Now, when it comes to filling it up, I did some research, and my plan was to use Honda MTF, and I ordered 3 bottles of it, but only 1 bottle showed up. So I dug on some forums, and I found that just regular 10W30 oil is a good substitute and shouldn't destroy anything, so I'm going to use a mixture of both. I hate filling things this way. Yeah, there's definitely a Honda manual transmission fluid in there. That's totally not oil. It's totally the right thing. This sucks. Everything's so slippery.
Just like that.
That's full. Perfect. Let's put it on the ground and fire it up. Before we get it fired up, I don't know if you guys noticed the passenger door being literally completely caved in. And that's because last time we moved MASUTANGU, we were putting it under a carport and we overshot turn, and I was inside and I turned it left and the car basically did this. Chunk. The pole went right here and just caved in the whole door. So I'm really hoping I can like easily kick it out, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy. Hey! Oh!
Ooh! Ooh! Good, good, good.
Let's get into the fine massagery. I'm calling that fixed enough. Do we have contact? No, dude. That looks just as good as it did 2 seconds before I hit the pole, if you don't look at it directly down the side. Let me take care of the horrible amounts of mold before we sit in this atmosphere. This thing is really gross. Almost record level gross. Interior. Transformed. Now the moment of truth. After sitting for a year, relatively old E85, what do we got? Ooh. Hey, can you crank that jump box up for me real quick? Attempt 2. Like a brand new car. Woo! I haven't smelled that in a while. That E85, baby. I am very excited. I've not been in this car in a very long time. Alright, before I get all excited and strapped in, let's see if it even moves under its own power. It feels like it's going through all the gears. Try reverse first. Hey, she's moving. Okay, reverse successful. How about first? Yo, what's up, dude?
What up? What's it been, like over a year?
Yeah.
This guy's lazy. Lazy.
Shut up, dude! Oh, you hear the brakes? Let me check the brake fluid, because it does not stop good right now. I think I'm just rusty. I forgot that it just doesn't stop that well. I did miss MASUTANGU. Temperature's pretty good. I'm not gonna go beat on it immediately. I'm gonna put a few miles on it, just cruising. We'll see how it goes. First time going through the gears in my built transmission. You hear that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting noise.
That was a horrible noise. Goes into boost still. You guys hear that? I don't know what the that sound is. I'd like to write it off and just say it's the really rusty brakes, but that's a pretty bad sound. Let me give it a gander. The car just shut off. We're gonna need the jump box.
You got a smart cameraman.
Thank you, cameraman. All right, well, I was just checking to see where that sound was coming from, and then it turned itself off, and the course, the battery's still pretty dead, but we have a jump box, so. Again.
It wants to die.
That's weird, it just doesn't want to idle. That sound is very loud. Safe to say, let's go back to the shop real quick. I don't think that's coming from the transmission. I really hope not, that would be bad. It does not want to idle whatsoever.
12 seconds later.
Now it's idling. It might be it's not charging enough to keep it alive. Come on. Come on. Oh no. Hey, cameraman. Hit the key. Make sure it won't run over. Again. Oh no.
I have jumper cables.
Mr. Jump, please wake up. You said you had some jumper cables? I'm gonna need to take you up on that, please. Alright, hit the key. Fire it up again. Again, maybe? No. Oh! Yeah, that's the one. I remember that. There was some sensor the night before Carlisle 2 years ago, and the car died like this and it wouldn't run right. And I found that sensor plug to be bad, and I stole another plug from somewhere off the harness and spliced it in. Okay, let's go fix that. Now it's idling again, of course. All right, well, let me solder in a new connector there and we'll see if it fixes our problem. New plug. Let's hope it's the right one. Ooh, it clips on there properly. Now, I can fix this. Because as you can see, I very haphazardly spliced in this connector that I stole from an unused portion of the harness. Because since I've got this car, there have been a bunch of like old plugs unused for various sensors that I'm not really familiar with. So it was the same plug type, that's why I robbed it. Those are soldered up real nice. I even got a shrink wrap. Let's see if that helped. If you didn't know, I'm a carburetor and a small block Ford guy. I don't know what the f***'s going on. Alright, checked about all of the plugs. And I tightened down the positive terminal. Try it again. I don't like import cars. If one thing's not quite right, it doesn't run. This is why you don't let your cars sit for long periods of time, folks. Well, here's a fun discovery. All of the injector adapters are wired together with the wires just twisted together and covered in electrical tape. Every single injector. I would be a betting man and say that could be our problem. I just twist tied one wire together and we started the car up, and then I untwisted it and it immediately died and mimicked the issues we're having. All the other connections and wiring seems fine. This is far from fine. This is terrible. Oh no. Do I feel like soldering 8 different wires in a very obscure spot? No. But I am pretty confident that's gonna cause problems. Don't finger twist and electrical tape wires together. I guess I gotta get to soldering. Yeah, look at that. Wow, that's awful. First injector's fixed onto the second. You shouldn't be able to do that with any wiring connection. This is one of those problems that I'm not enthused about fixing. And I'm also worried because if the wiring's like this in a visible spot, I'm very scared that our actual idle problem / running problem could be because there's wiring like this elsewhere, maybe around the computer. But I am determined to continue driving this car and to go beat the snot out of it. Also, it's raining right now. Raining a lot. This car doesn't have wipers. Right there, that's a soldered connection that you can tug on with a good amount of force. Then I'll also add shrink wrap to keep dirt and moisture out. Crazy to think that you can do something like that. Boom, soldered. Click, final injector installed. I really don't think that's gonna fix it, knowing now that the wirer of this car might have done that in other places that I haven't seen. But we can give it a good old-fashioned try and see what happens. I think it's gonna do the same stupid shit. Declan, cycle the key up and give her a shot. Again. Every time it does that, it both leans out and the tach shuts off. That tells me that it's losing spark. I still believe it's a spark issue, but I also don't know. Now, after cleaning up the distributor, the tach is not doing the thing where it goes to 0 every time the car wants to die, which does lead me to believe it's a fueling sort of issue now. Everyone kind of thinks it's bad E85 because the car sat untouched outside for a little over a year. And we don't even have a check engine light anymore. It's like it doesn't want to run off the fuel. So, I mean, that's kind of a new problem that I've never experienced, but we've messed with all the other wiring, all the connectors. I fixed the fuel injectors, cleaned up the distributor connections. I do think it might be a fuel issue. All right, I'm gonna pop off fuel line right there. It's possible it could be a fuel filter issue too. What I'm gonna do is something probably stupid. I'm gonna hit the key real quick and that's probably gonna shoot out violently. But if it doesn't shoot out violently, then maybe the fuel filter's clogged. Oh! We got good flow?
Yeah.
Very good flow?
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, can you tighten the battery terminals for me? Hey, cameraman, can you tighten the battery terminals for me?
Please don't make me.
I think they're loose.
There you go.
After watching that footage back, that E85 looked kind of brown. To pump out the old E85, I'm reinstalling this fuel line on upside down. Now, I need a bucket. I know there's a ton of E85. There's like a little under a half tank. Stand back. Ready? Is it making a big mess?
No.
Well, smart folks on the internet, is that what bad E85 looks like? I think we might be onto something. This is my solution to run the fuel pump constantly. I have a battery that is grounded to a seatbelt bolt, and I have alligator clips that I have spliced into the trigger wire. So, as long as I'm holding this clip on the battery, it's draining the fuel out. I'll be here for a while. Just like that, we have siphoned out all of the fuel that we can possibly get out of the tank. Honestly, it seems like what, cameraman? A few gallons?
Yeah.
5 gallons maybe? So we can take our battery hack out of the back. Oh baby. It's a very awkward car to work on, if you were wondering. With the whole roll cage and fastback and all. Thanks Josh and Declan for going to get me some fresh E85. I really hope this fixes the problem. This doesn't look cloudy at all. It also smells more like fuel. MASUTANGU is drunk. I know you're thirsty, MASUTANGU. Anyone have a match? I got a match on him right now. That is 5 gallons of fresh E85. Let's see if there are leaks in the fuel system. Would anyone mind hitting the key for me? I don't see no leaks. If this thing still runs bad, I'm scrapping it. Fire up, Terry. What you doing, Terry? My gas pedal feels weird. Like I lost. Oh, did the cable pop off or something? Oh, yes. Yeah. Tighten up the throttle cable. I don't know. Maybe that'll magically fix it. I also plugged the vacuum port, but I was pretty sure that vacuum port was always open. Yeah, it didn't help. I don't think it's a fuel problem. The tach's doing the thing again. There. Can't say I know what that means, but I think it means there's a spark problem, or at the very least, there's some sort of problem that's telling the ECU to shut spark off. Basically, I'm very confused. Hello, it's a new day. And full disclosure, we're pretty much out of time and out of ideas. We don't really know what is wrong with this car. I like to think it's spark related, but my fellow import loving friends like to think it's fuel related. I'm not quite sure, but I do know it's been sitting here for 24 hours completely untouched, and I'm gonna hit the key and hope that it magically fixed its own problem so that we can go do burnouts. This is where I am the definition of insanity, and I'm hoping that it just magically fix itself. Still no idle. Check engine light is flashing. And I know you're gonna comment, why don't you run the check engine light? This car's check engine light definitely does not work. I've tried it. If you're a Honda guy, can you explain this? Because I can't. I don't know what that means. Let me run you through the things we know and the things we don't know. We don't know what the check engine light is on for. We can't test it because the OBD2 port does not work. We do know that it has fresh E85. Yesterday, while running in its bad form, we pulled an injector and it developed a misfire, and then we plugged an injector back in and it ran fine, which I believe tells us the injectors are fine. What it seems to be doing, in my opinion, is completely cutting spark and turning the entire car off, and I believe that because when the car sputters and dies, the tach immediately drops to 0, and the tach pickup usually comes from the distributor, which I think means the voltage going through the distributor is getting cut out. Now that is my hypothesis. Now moving on to more things we know. We know that that switch that was a little funky in the back, the one that I soldered in, is good. We know that the wires for the injectors are good. We don't know if there are any more funky spots in the wiring. We don't know if the sensor is bad because we can't run the check engine light. However, we faced a fairly similar problem 2 years ago where we got the car running and it wouldn't go under boost. It idled and ran and cruised fine, but wouldn't go under boost. And in the process of fixing it, we replaced the throttle position sensor, and I know I've done plugs, it has wires, and I also replaced the distributor at some point, but that wasn't the problem, so I have another distributor I could try. I don't really think it's a distributor. I don't know. The car does run on Honda, so it's not the factory ECU. I'm not gonna stand around here and pretend that I'm just a genius that knows the answer to every car problem, because my specialty is old cars. If this had a carburetor and an ignition coil and a distributor, I would have it running by now, but I don't know. I am not a new car guy per se, and I'm definitely not an import guy. What do you think, Declan?
I still think the injectors are clogged because the old E85 had little glimmers of gunk floating in it.
We'll get the car started and keep it running, and I'm gonna pull an injector plug, and we're gonna see how it changes. Declan, do you mind hitting the key?
Yeah, I got you.
When he fires the car up, I'm gonna keep it alive, and while it's alive, I'm going to unplug one of the injectors. Ready? Hear that? When I unplugged the injectors, it developed a bad misfire. And then when I plugged the injector back in, can you hit the key again? No misfire. So I think if an injector was clogged, it wouldn't be able to do that. Where's that weird humming coming from? Hold on. The weird humming is coming from the thing that we fixed the connector on. Now that could be something. First, let me test it with the hammer method where I dink it and see if it becomes silent. That method didn't fix it. So let's turn the key off and I'm gonna unbolt it and see if I can see something physically wrong with it. No. There are vacuum ports on whatever that is, and they are open. If the repair is this easy, I don't know what I'll do. I'm gonna have to exclude that whole portion where we were talking about what we don't know the problem is, and I'll edit this video together to pretend that I'm a genius and I knew what it was. I've just plugged one of the vacuum ports. Let me leave the other one open and also plug it in. I've plugged both vacuum ports on that sensor. I was really hoping it would be something easy like that. Yeah, that weird little thing is still humming, so it wasn't the vacuum ports. So now let me continue what I was gonna do and remove it. Key off, please. What is this thing? Ooh, you guys wanna see something funny?
Can I guess?
What?
Is it a rat's nest?
Whatever this thing is, there is grass in it. Oh, I don't think there should be grass in there. All right, we've cleaned out the IAC. Just a touch of silicone. Now, I'm not hopeful that this is gonna fix our problem, but it was making a weird sound and it had grass in it. So if that screen is deciding how much air is passing through and there's blades of grass blocking half of it, it could throw it off and trip everything out. But I don't know, I really am not sure. Final attempt. If it doesn't run good after this, I'm giving up for the day. Let's give it a second. Mortified. I had to nurse it through the cold start right there, but it is idle. If I fix it, I'm gonna become the cockiest mechanic on the planet, dude. I wanna rev it to see if it stays alive, but I'll talk to you in 2 minutes. And if when this video starts back up, it's still idling, I'm gonna go beat the out of it. 2 minutes later, will it rev? Of course it won't. I got really excited. The check engine light started flashing again. No, no. So whatever the issue is, it's now intermittent. For shits and giggles, I'm gonna take that IAC off again and see if it sucked up any more weird stuff. Now I'm curious. There are a couple new contaminants in this. Not really. I don't think we've fixed it. IAC clean out number 2. We also started the car up with no IAC to hopefully just obliterate whatever crap might be in there still. Nothing came out because it's an intake and it's sucking, but I was just hoping to defy logic. Anyways, IAC's off with no silicone, back on. I don't think that fixed it, but we'll give it one old fast try one more time. Well, folks, that's it. I I don't have a new idle air control valve. I don't know what's going on. I can't read the check engine light. And most of all, I don't have any more time. I'm graduating college tomorrow, so I can't work on this car anymore between right now and when this video goes live. So, Honda geniuses, I hope you've watched the whole video so you see everything I've done in attempts to fix it. If you have an idea as to what the problem might be my guest. Do you think it's injectors? Do you think it's a fuel system problem? Do you think it's a spark problem? You tell me what you think the issue is, because I literally cannot try anymore. But we did get to bring Masu back. We did drive it, okay? We got to do a little bit of boost. No burnouts, no bank shifting, but honestly, it's probably good we didn't do that because the transmission is brand spanking new. So guys, thanks for watching the best damn automotive content on YouTube. I'm sorry this one didn't have the outcome that we had quite hoped, but the car is back. The car is running and it does move, which is a lot better than sitting under a tarp, molding away, and rotting its E85 in the tank. So, I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Hope you stick around, because if you don't, I'm gonna track your IP address and it's gonna get ugly fast. I know where you are. Anyways, love you guys. Peace out. Bye.